I mean, it's the craziest thing that happened, right? So it was a great week, but that is just a caveat. Even when you do great in a company, you're not safe. Okay, you're just not safe. So anyway, man, that's my 2 cents for the week. Appreciate you, Angel. Everybody, man, I appreciate all y'all. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dell. You know, your 2 cents compounded every day makes a lot of money. So remember that. 2 cents compounded every day, right? Compounding. But yes, you're absolutely right. Nothing is ever safe. When we think that something is safe, you always want multiple income streams. And the great part about Build is that we have not only do we have multiple income streams, but we have multiple industries as well. So we're not in any one industry. And so if something's up, something's down, something's up, right? So that's what you call Mr. Bean the economic equalizer, right? Because you're always there's always going to be an industry up when another industry is down. And so you want to spread, like if you play stocks or something, right? You want to spread your money throughout different types of industry so that it's never a negative, right? You're always positive. And so the same thing applies for jobs. The same thing applies. What's your plan B? What's your plan C? What's your plan D? Because if, let's say, you do love jobs and that job let you go, well, while you're looking for another job, if you ever feel like it, you already have plan B, plan C, plan D, right? So, and Build is one of the best plans out there because we have so many different things that you can concentrate on. So that's what I love about that. And thanks for, bringing that to our attention because I hear those stories so many times. It's not even funny. And it's throughout the years. It's not just now. It's been like that. I've known people who remember who used to work 30 years for the Houston Chronicle. If nobody knows what it was, it used to be a newspaper, right? And right when she was retired, guess what? They didn't want to pay for retirement, right? So what? Same thing. These companies don't want to pay for retirement, and they definitely don't want to pay out more than what they want to pay out as well. So it's all about their bottom line and it's all about their pockets. And so, I mean, there's really nothing you can do about it, but, put you and your family first place always. So thank you for sharing, Sarah, Miss Sarah George.
Hi, Angel. Thank you for letting me speak today.
Of
Um, my wins for the week was that I was studying Mr. Bean's Plug and Profit collaboration presentation, and it is an amazing presentation. The way he presents all the information is just like perfection. So then I tried to play the video on a Zoom, but they're like, we can't hear the sound. So I was so nervous. I was like, I've just been showing the video. I have to present. And then it was my first presentation this week doing the Plug and Profit myself. And I'm really excited because I want to be a presenter for the group. So that was my win for the week, and also that the fact that I got a referral from a previous client for solar.
Not only did you get a referral, you got a referral and you did the proposal and you all are following up with the client. Let's come on, let them know.
Yay! Looks like somebody's already a mentor over there. Wow, thank you for sharing, Sarah. I'm always inspired by how much you grow. I see your growth in everything that you do. And it's just so amazing to see how I'm like looking at my little daughter and I'm like, hey, I need to work with you too. Unfortunately, she doesn't feel that way yet. So maybe when she graduates high school, right? But you really inspire me, with the new generation and how fast you're growing and how amazing that you're not only doing that, but you're teaching and then now you want to present as well, right? And so you're going to be that 360-degree leader, and I can already see that. And it's so great to see you as a little bulb that is now blooming into that flower. And I know your mom is super proud of that, So I mean, I'm getting teary-eyed talking about you. So I love you guys, love you for what you do and what you share, and keep inspiring those, because I know all the young and rich on my team are looking at you, Miss Sarah George. They're like, wow, she's the bomb.com, so you're inspiring young people throughout nationwide right now, and pretty soon international. So keep going. Love that. Amazing, amazing. All right. Oh, Ja Leslie. Love seeing new people. Welcome to the call.
Thank you. I just wanted to share that I have my first call with Mr. Bean today, and I'll be on with Sarah.
Congratulations. All right. Look at that.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
And like they said, the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. So you are definitely following a rocket ship right now. So great job. Thanks for sharing. All right, Miss Arlene George.
Good morning, Miss Angel Trent. It is a pleasure. I've been speaking so much this week that I actually have to conserve my voice. But guess what? The devil is a liar. This is not going to stop. I'm going to keep on going. So thank you, Angel, for your service, because you are willing to do this on Saturdays when Mr. Bean is traveling. We still have a platform to come to and to be fed every single Saturday. And I just want to thank you and honor you for that, and recognize the energy it takes and the preparation it takes and the burden of responsibility that you take on when you take this on every single Saturday. So thank you for that, for sharing your knowledge, your information, and your heart. This week, my wins were I did 2. I should have done 10, but I did 2 cash flow and collaboration presentations. One ended up in the A word. It's okay. But I'm working on that one. It's realtor, and it's a realtor downline, so that's good. That he's like 2 depths down. The other one was excited. I mean, flat out excited. I was gonna book a 3-way with Mr. Bean. And she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna get my business partner on board, and we're gonna do this 3-way with Mr. Bean. And then 2 hours later, I get a text message. She copies and pastes her business partner's text message to me to say that she did a cursory review of Mr. Bean and Build Network and is not interested at this time. Y'all know, I kind of got that look like, huh? Then I got the, what the? Oh, no, you didn't. But instead of going off and just writing her off, I called Mr. Bean, because I called him and I let him know that she was with the Chamber of Commerce in Atlanta, and all the giving a background. And he said, her partner ate her lunch. I'm like, yeah, she did. He said, so what are you gonna do? I said, well, for grins and giggles, I'm gonna dominate Atlanta, and then somebody's gonna approach her, and I'm gonna be her upline. And Mr. Bean said, that's the spirit. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to roll back the energy some, and I want you to send her the video. He said, because whether she watches this or not, you have given her more information to regain the fire that she had, that she allowed someone else to take. And I'm like, that's why I had to call Mr. Bean, because I'd have just written her off next. But no, he gave me an avenue to be able to continue to reach her. And it reminded me of what Grant Cardone said. He says it takes 10 to 12 touches to even get the individual in a receptive mode to buying. And then I'm listening to Sell or Be Sold, and he says the first money is the hardest. Well, the first money in this transaction was getting her to see enough to be able to become a builder, to then open up her market. Well, that first one is the first money is the hardest. Then he said the second money is the easiest. Well, the second money is going to be getting into her market or getting into anyone's market. So, like, lessons learned. That's why Mr. Bean said, listen to Grant Cardone, sell or be sold, get the audiobook, get the book. That's why I called him, because obviously my knowledge is not his knowledge. And I want his knowledge so I can have his results. So that was my week. And oh, I do have one more, Angel. Can I share it?
Absolutely.
All right. So the one more is no distractions. If you are not a threat, things will go smoothly. But when you step out and you are a threat and you are taking territories for people who are in financial need, you know you're going to meet what? Adversity. So I had some challenges in my own personal life this week, and I did not allow myself to become distracted. I recognized it for what it was. I said, bring it on, because I'm coming. I'm taking it. It's mine. You can't have it. So therefore, whatever you're bringing on, you're not fighting me. You're fighting the guy who's got my back.
Yep.
So I did not give in to the distractions.
Yes.
And I will not give in to the distractions. I will be executive 15 by January 2026.
Yes, you
And
will.
that's it, period. And ain't no stopping me. I will be that
Drop,
million
mic
dollar a
drop.
month earner. That's it, period. Ain't no stopping me. I'm not going to get distracted. I am focused. I am not finished. I am focused. And
Yes,
that's what I wanted to share.
thank you. And that's what we all needed, that energy, that fire that you just gave us, right? Because you're not stopping. And that's what you need to get to that executive 15, right? Is that what we're doing, right? Executive 15. Because without that fire, without that passion, you can't light up everybody else, right? So you got to go first. You got to you got to explode so everybody else, right? Explodes with you, right? So thank you. And I can see that, Doc. I can see 2025 is a new you. You're not taking anything. You're going to get what you want, and that's it. And that's final. And I love that. I love that. And I can see it's trickling down to your team, and and it's growing huge, and you can see it, right? I mean, you just walked off, and who grabs the the rental car girl. Hey, I'm about to go to a meeting, so you want to, like, that's something that, because you're so on fire, is everybody's like, I want to do what she's doing, because whatever it is, it's got her on fire, it's got her loving life, because I mean, who wants to follow you with a job when you're like, oh my God, my boss did this, 2 hours in traffic, da da da. I'm like, let's not have a conversation with you right now. Right. But Dr. Arlene is, you're such a powerhouse. I love it. So eloquent. So, but then you got the fire when you need to, and it's just so perfect, right? I love your presentations, and I love your, eloquent style, but yet, you bring the heat to people, and you make them wake up and smell the coffee, right? So love it, love it. Thank you for sharing, because a lot of people need to understand, like you said, the distractions, because you're gonna get it, right? If you're about to do something, it's definitely coming. It's definitely coming, and it's gonna come hard. If you ever been through a storm, put a number one in there. If you're ever about to do something and you've been in that storm, let us know, right? We all have been in that storm. If we haven't been, we're there now. And just know that I used to be in that storm, but I found out real early that the storm is coming. So just hit the turbo and get the hell out of the storm as fast as you can. So when I see that storm coming, I'm okay. What do I need to do? How do I get out of the storm? Like, I don't even want to let the storm touch me. Don't even let the raindrop touch you. Just turbo and get out of there, right? Just like Dr. Erlene did. Thank you, Dr. Erlene. Who else is there? Freddie Ross. All right, San Antonio.
Good morning,
How was
everyone.
he?
My win for the week was Mr. Gage got those 3 properties that he needed to evaluate. So as far as 3:30 in the morning, off on Thursday morning, I drove down to Houston to assist him with that because climbing up 25, 30 feet to get on top of as far as a commercial property, that could be scary at one. And another, you need to have someone holding the ladder while you're climbing that high. So I was just wanting to assist him with that, to where we learned a lot by doing that, because for one, you need a very strong drone if you're going to fly over a building like that in high winds like we've been having here in San Antonio and Houston. So I mean, the experience that we received from evaluating those properties were priceless. I feel we've done a really good job and done everything that we could do to get everything that we need submitted, and they are happy with what he did turn in. So it was a great experience, a great knowledge. Knowledge is key to everything. All about knowledge is what you do with it once you have it.
Yes. Well, thank you for sharing that because, when you are helping someone and when you're doing teamwork, you actually grow as well, right? And that's what people don't understand sometimes when they're just focused on their dreams and their goals and not others, right? So by actually going out with Gage and helping him, you in turn learn about the process, right? You learn now how to do your own. You learn how to, everything, right? And so that's the same thing, as you guys are, I'm so appreciative that you guys are so grateful for the trainings, but as I'm training you all, I'm getting better as well, right? The training is coming into me, and now I'm learning. I mean, some of you have seen me from, the little angel to now, being able to talk in front of people, and, and which was something that I never thought I would be able to do, right? And without like forgetting all my lines, which you've seen that has happened. So, it's a growing, and as you help more people, you actually in turn learn more than they do. I actually learn more as I'm training you all than I did trying to learn by myself, right? So giving unto others in turn will double your supply for sure, right? So, thank you for sharing that, Freddie. And anybody else have anything that you guys would like to share today? Any of your wins or reflections for the week, right? Congratulations to San Antonio and Houston, right? Right, both cities are working together, and that's teamwork, right? It's not just one city. And that's what I love about our group. It's so diverse. We're everywhere, right? We're all over the nation, but we're one voice, and I really love that we help each and every single one of us, our servant leaders. And that's what the company needs, right? Because we're pushing out the people that don't want to come and don't want to serve. And I love that about our company. Freddie, you
All
want
I
to
can
take
all I
us?
can say, Angel, is y'all have a ton of work in Houston that needs to be done on properties, period. Just driving through, because I have rehab as far as experience, as far as with houses, that where you have so many properties there that have been damaged that one person couldn't possibly at first do it alone. So that's something that someone needs to roll up their sleeves and it's for definitely get to work at, because it is a ton of work that needs to be done there. It's a gold mine.
Well, I think, yeah, it's there, but I think each city has its own gold mine as well, So, um, Houston, of course, we have a lot of people, 7 million people, but I think when you can go and find a gold mine anywhere, that's where you're going to be able to maximize everything, right? You work in your city and then you maximize the growth. And then we're just talking right now with, with nationwide, but in this month, pretty soon, in a couple weeks, we're going international. So get your passports ready. I know we're
There's
going to
no
be
problem. I'm
doing
up
some stuff.
on a meeting already this morning.
Right. Oh, all right. Miss Brenda Nava, let us know your
Good
win
morning,
for the week.
Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see all of you. Thank you, Miss Angel, for doing the call today. You are appreciated. We love you a lot. Always following your footsteps. So just know you're always in our hearts. I wanted to just mention about they already talked about it, the roofing, which was something very excited that hits my spot because I'm in that industry in the construction. So I I had stopped my company and then I restarted it again because of this reason, right? So I've been reaching out to some people. It's making it for me. I've seen a little a change within, that now that we have roofing, I see more people that are interested. So I do have some one-on-ones. I mean, three-way calls that I have to do with Mr. Bean, but very excited about the roofing side because it's going to be, like you said, we have different ways to go, right? So maybe this one wasn't your strength, but this one is. So that's pretty cool because you can add if this one doesn't work, you go to the other one. So I'm very excited about that. Um, some of my wins are I'm going to have two young people, which I'm very excited about because I've been trying to get young people into the business. They're gonna come in this week, so very excited about that, and very excited about getting out in the trenches and getting some roofing done. It's been cold over here, so I haven't been able to go door knocking, but I'm gonna go door knocking with the roofing. So very excited, and I'm ready to roll. Just wanted to
Um,
say that, and thank you again.
Thank you. Well, congratulations on your wins, and and I love how this has played out for you because I know when we met at the leadership event, you're like, I'm kind of looking for what direction I want to go next, right? And when you ask that question, it's always going to be delivered for you, right? So the thing is with us, we don't ask questions like that, and when you ask those questions in the universe, I know when I was working for corporate America, you know, um, in 2013, what was my last time working in corporate America, I said, there's got to be a better way. Let me know, what can I do? I don't want to be in traffic. I don't want to work for people. I don't want to have smoke breaks when I don't smoke because it's so stressful. I don't want to sit in traffic, right? And so there's got to be a better way where I can spend time with my kids, not have to pay all of my money, my salary out for daycare, but I wanna be a mom and I wanna make a lot of money too. And when I asked that, it happened for me, right? So I love it. You do have to throw that in the air because what you're looking for is always looking for you. It's just waiting for you to look for it, right? So I love that, how when we had that conversation till now, you're like, I know what to do now, right? Everything fell in place for you, right? This is exactly where we're talking about. And so, and for those of you who don't know, I mean, the cat's out of the bag, right? We are beta testing for this. It's not out to everyone yet because we meant one as a company, everything has to make sure that it's smooth when it comes out to you all, right? So there are some people that are willing to go in and do the dirty work and make sure that that it's all nice and smooth once it's rolled out for you all. So you guys have a smooth process, right? And so congratulations, and I'm excited when they when for congratulate you guys for beta testing for the rest of us, and so that they can go out and and really do what we did with solar with this project as well. So, um, and I love Brenda. You're just inspiring. You just never give up, and you just keep on going. And it just, every single time I hear you speak, it's just very inspiring. So I love that. Thank you for sharing. All right. So do anybody else want to share before we head on to the training? All right,
I
Miss
just want
Carla
to
Wynn.
mention,
Yes.
I just want to share
Sure.
one side coaching that I received earlier this week from Dr. Arlene.
Ooh,
Ooh, I called her by mistake and she called me back and she gave me a blessing. So I want to thank her for that. Which is she said double your four and you don't have to worry about paying anymore. So that was the blessing she did.
awesome. And you know what I say? There are no mistakes. That's how I live my life. There are no mistakes, right? Even when I accidentally call somebody or accidentally say something and it's like, oh, you know what? There are no mistakes, right? There's a reason why it happened. There's a reason why I'm talking to you. So let's find out. Let's be friends and find out what that reason is, right? So there's never accidents, right? Just like the when I called Dale, it was for a different reason, but then we ended up having that conversation too, right? So there are no accidents. You're meant to get certain information and knowledge that you need, and it's going to come from different sources. So always be open, always be listening, and always, take advice, but then make sure you're running it with your upline as well, right? And just to say, hey, what do you think I do? Of course, Dr. Lean, double your four, pay no more is definitely a great one. But in the circumstance of other types of what is advice, you may want to run it up to your upline first, right? Or your sponsors who you're working directly with, so that way
Oh, of
they're
course.
on board with what they know, because you want to run it by them, not because of
Mhm.
anything, but the fact that they are working hand in hand with you. So if you're going to be doing a play, they got to know the play, right? So if you're going to do a
Mhm.
play and you're like, hey, why didn't you catch the ball? I was doing a play, but you never shared the play. How are they going to catch the ball with you? Right. So you guys always have to be one voice. So if you're going to do something, work with your team and let them know, like, hey, this is what I want to do. What do you think? Should we do this play? Right. So great job. Thanks for sharing. Because that is important. There are no mistakes. So if you happen to make a mistake, ever see somebody say, "Oh, my mistake," like, nope, there's no mistakes. So,
That was all she said. That was all she said. She said, "I'm glad I talked to you today. You
oh
I'm
yeah,
glad to hear your voice." And that was it. That was just the line, and then we ended the call.
that
But
was
that was it.
enough. That was
Yep, that
impossible.
was
That's
enough.
what you were looking for.
Yep, thank you.
No, thank you. Yes, Dr. Arlene always has those nuggets, just like Mr. Bean, right? She's got those phrases. I need to learn those cool phrases too. I'm working on that.
Angel, you've got it. I put it in the chat. Your phrase I wrote down was, "What you are looking for is always looking for you." Thank you for that nugget.
Thank you. I try my best. All right. Anybody else want to share some wins for the week before we get started in our training? I know we're gonna spend a lot of time on this training because it's what's gonna get you paid, right?
Hey,
So let's.
Angel, I'll
Oh
just
yeah, go ahead.
I'll
Yes,
chime in real quick.
sure.
I can't turn my camera on right now, but I
Mm-hmm.
just um I guess my biggest win today this week was to have a little bit of Mr. Bean's time, his encouragement, his his dedication, and his ownership as far as like taking pride in grooming and helping us all grow. I just really appreciate him, and I know he's not on the line. He's in Atlanta right now. I'm on the phone, baby. Um, it just meant so much to me, and I reached out to him later on in the day just to let him know how much it meant to me, because the mindset sometimes can get a hold of you if you're not in that right environment. And it was just I just felt really thankful and grateful for Mr. Bean. And man, just what an upline to have. You know what I mean? Like, it's powerful to be associated with someone who always is striving for excellence and can accept uh, the process with other people to to show you, hey man, this is don't beat yourself up, just regenerate, go back at it. And he said, man, you're about to hit you're on the verge of a 7-figure year. He says, so all the other stuff, he says, you got to go through the fire. And it really kind of set the tone to remind me that the distractions, the devil is a lie, and
Mm.
I know that's what it is. I know that I'm being faced with adversity because of my belief. And so he really helped me get through that hard 24 hours. And I don't really get those type of days that often. So I just wanted to say that we have an awesome leader, and just feeling really thankful for him.
Yes, well, absolutely. There's a billion words I can say about Mr. Bean and Mrs. Bean, and you're absolutely right. And but that's they're when people say that they're burning bridges, right? Well, Mr. and Mrs. Bean is just developing people, and I've seen them develop people, and now the people are going into other companies and doing well, and so they're trickling this blessing effect all over the place. And whether those people are with them still or not, their blessing has produced so many results. And so you're absolutely right. And that's why they are the 360-degree leaders. I always stress this because sometimes, when you have a great leader and they're the first leader you've ever had, you don't understand. I would say luckily, and you're probably like, why luckily? Luckily in my life, I've ran across a lot of bad leaders so that I can really appreciate how great they are, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
I've had
absolutely.
leaders that have, I mean, tell me about it. They can, go diamond in 90 days. They can produce all of this and, millions and shoot straight fast and all of this greatness, right? But they were not 360-degree leaders, right? And when going through the bad, and it's crazy in life, right? Going through the bad helps you appreciate the good so that when you have the good, you don't want to let go. You want to do anything and everything to keep that good in your life, right? And so that's why I fight every day, right? To be in favor, right? It's earning that favor, right? By doing not earning it by having them love me or like me, but earning it through what just like you would work, right? Earning it through
Yeah.
that way, right? And so Vivek, we're all gonna have bad days, but I'm glad that you shared that because on those days you do need to pick up the phone and you do need to talk to someone and you do need to talk to your senior business partner, right? Because you don't want to do it alone. So I
Right.
commend you for that because a lot of people, their ego is too big where they won't pick up the phone and that will cause you to slide backwards, right?
Yeah.
So when you pick up that phone right away, you're actually saving yourself from backward sliding. It's like you're getting an avalanche, right? You're getting an avalanche, and by picking up that phone, calling Mr. Bean or whoever's calling, Dr. Arlene, somebody's calling Miss Carla, somebody calling Dale, you're gonna keep yourself from sliding backwards. Cause I know I was sliding backwards all the time. I'm like, oh, I didn't want to call you, Mr. Bean. I didn't want to bother you. Well, now I'm sliding back, so now I really have to bother you to get myself
Well,
back
well,
up, right?
well,
So,
that's even what's more incredible is that I text him, and I guess he really felt what I was going through, and he actually called me. So I was like, "Hey, Mr. Bean, you didn't have to call me." He says, "No, I had to call you." I was like, "Man, thank you," because I was really having a time, you know. So that just shows me what kind of not only leader he is, but just what kind of person he is, and it just really meant a lot to me. It really did.
Awesome. And it
Yeah,
shows what kind of person you are, because it takes a strong person to ask for help,
yeah,
right? So,
absolutely.
I
So
commend
thank you,
you for
Angel.
that.
Appreciate that.
You're
Thank you for letting me
welcome.
share. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Diana. Love to hear from you. What do you have for us?
Happy Saturday and happy blessings to everyone. Wow. I'm gonna try to sum it up as the best way I can. It's always a win when Mr. Bean come to your rescue. So I reached out to him on Wednesday night and he didn't text back. I was trying to like, oh my God, please let Mr. Bean text me back, let him text me back. Text him back, I was like, Mr. Bean, please call me. He contacted me and he was like, Diana, what's going on? I said, Mr. Bean, thank you so much, first and foremost, for just reaching out to me. I was like, I might have a win. I was promoting on Facebook and basically just reaching out to, trying not to get emotional, but reaching out to different roofing companies. Just, you know, marketing a little bit, coming up with a script. I had a roofing company chat me back ASAP. And come to find out, he lives in Kansas City, Missouri. And I used to live in Kansas City, Missouri. But this is the thing. His name is Matthew. He knew some senior partners that Mr. Bean used to work with in Organo Gold. Michelle Stevens and Michael Stevens. Sent a picture to Mr. Bean. Called me back. We set up a 3-way on Thursday night. And he's interested in collaborating with us. That's one win. I'm trying not to get emotional because I've been in his business for 7 months and still hanging in there. No matter what. Mr. Idris Alaka came to my rescue on yesterday. Ended up contacting another solar company out of Lubbock, Texas. It was an amazing call. So at the end of the call, the guy wants to be a mentor in our business. And we have another follow-up call on Monday. And I just wanted to share because I never shared a win before. And just to have Mr. Bean and Mr. Idris Alaka go to bat for you, it's just amazing. And that's all I have.
Awesome.
Yes. That's not all you have. That's a lot you have. That's abundance you have. And that's
That
just the
was abundant.
beginning and the tip of the iceberg, right, Diana? So congratulations, congratulations, right? And it's
Thank
okay to get emotional. It's okay to, you know, who told us that we can't get emotional? Because emotions is what's gonna drive us, right? Emotions is what's gonna take us to the next level. Emotions is what's gonna get that fire in you. So where did they tell us that, right? Was it corporate America or was it school? Right? Why? Right? Because emotions are good, right? They are good if they are utilized, right, in the right way, right? And when you're utilizing that to abundance, when you're utilizing that as the energy to take you to the next level, oh, look at that cutie pie. uh, that's gonna be what is this emotions you feel right now is what's gonna take you to that level. So feel it, feel how you feel, because that is what's going to get you to that next level. And congratulations on those wins. Idris Alaka, our leadership here is second bar to none out there, right? And I just love it. And that's what I want to be that person, just like Mr. Bean and Mrs. Bean. When somebody hears my name, they're like, I love who they are. I love their integrity, and I want to do what they're doing. And I've heard that so many times from people who have come onto my team, who have already known Mr. and Mrs. Bean or already heard of Mr. and Mrs. Bean. And they're like, one, I'm going to call out Kathy, right? Kathy was 5 minutes into Sabrina's call when Kathy said, Sam Bean, I don't care what he's doing, I'm on board. 5 minutes into her launch call, right? She got a text message that says, Sam Bean, I'm on board. Whatever he's doing, I'm doing. And that's that's what you want to leave. You're leaving your legacy, right? And don't worry about when your time is coming. Your time is coming when your time is coming. I'm gonna share a little story about this gentleman, right? This gentleman that I've met before. He his story was that for 18 months he did not sign up a single person in the company he was with at a time. 18 months. But every single day he went out and he talked to 5 people every day. 5 people every day. 5 people every day. He put 5 quarters in one pocket and he didn't go home until he talked to 5 people. That's after his 9 to 5. So after his 9 to 5, he would talk to 5 people before he went home, which could end up being 2 in the morning. Whenever that fifth person was when he would go home and then start his next day again. Same thing every single day. In 18 months, he did not sign up one single person, and he didn't give up though. He just kept doing the same thing he was doing, right? He didn't stop, he didn't let loose, but he just kept going, same consistency, and he became the top earner in that company. He blew past all the other leaders and became the number one in that company after 18 months, right? So your time is your time. Keep going, keep believing in yourself, because the more you believe in yourself is what's going to make you win. It doesn't care about the products, it's not about anything, it's your belief in yourself. So now you're believing in yourself, and that's where you're going to take it. And I'm so excited for you, Diana. Congratulations, and thank you for sharing, because that's the courage, right? Sharing is the courage, because you don't know who's out there that's looking for your story, who's out there that you can connect with, right? That somebody's been wondering if they should just stop what they're doing, but because they heard of you, Diana, they didn't stop. Somebody's been going through challenges, and because of you, Vic, they decided to call their sponsor and talk instead of living in that, in that distraction, right? So we're all here because there's somebody that we're gonna inspire today, right? So thank you for sharing. I love everybody that shared, because you're helping somebody today. So thank you for sharing, guys. Let's go ahead and head into our training today, because I know you probably have lots of questions after that. So let me try to share my screen. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? Thumbs up?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yep.
right. Thank you. So, how to close like a professional, right? There's lots of I've read so many closing books, but I love GCU, right? There was so much to go through when I was trying to learn to close. But when I went through the Grant Cardone University, I utilized what they were using to close. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the bomb.com. Like, why did not anybody make it this simple? And the thing is that we are the reason why we don't close, right? So there's something in If you're not closing, there's a reason why, right? It's that car with the missing piece. You got to figure out what the missing piece is, and then you'll start closing, right? When I first started, I wasn't thinking I was going to close. I was just like, okay, this is what we're doing. Mr. Bean told us we need to learn Grant Cardone. I'm not too fond of the guy, but I'm just going to learn and do my homework like I'm supposed to as a student, right? Lo and behold, it's one of the things that set me on fire, right? And closing was one of them, right? So when I got into the Grant Cardone, when you want to learn something, you got to figure out what it is you want to learn first, right? And so what I decided was, hey, I want to close like a pro, and I want to handle objections. So I went into there and I studied that over and over, right? So with that being said, what 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 makes a person different, right, is in the styles that they study. So it's not about intelligence, it's about how you study and how you get it into your brain, right? And so what I do is when I study something, I do it 3 times. If I read a chapter, I read a chapter 3 times before I move on, right? If I anything that you learn, you're watching a video, watch the video 3 times before you move on. Why? Once, it's it's gonna grab random stuff. The second time, it's gonna grab whatever else that you didn't grab in the first time. And then third time, it's gonna finish up what you didn't get in the first and third. And so now it's stuck in your brain. What I used to do was read a book from cover to cover, right? To end. And you can't put all that in your brain, right? So when I started learning to do 3 times, read it 3 times, apply, and then go to the next chapter, learn it 3 times and apply. And that's when I started learning these objections to where you can just give me an objection and I'll find a way. I'll find a solution for it. And that's what you want to do, right? So think about it. Um, like think about actors and actresses. They're paid millions of dollars, but they go by a script. And you see them walking around practicing over and over. How many cuts do you think they have on one little scene of like 2 lines? Plenty until they get it right, right? They're just like Grant Cardone rally calls, right? On the when they're filming. What they could be saying their line like midway, it's like cut. I didn't like your tone. Do it over. Cut. Do it over. Cut. Do it over. And then they learn to what? Smoothen it out. And that's what we have to do too. So when you're taking these things and these scripts, you have to do it over and over. If you mess up, start all over from beginning. If you mess up, start all over from beginning until you have, there's no perfection, but you have now done it to where it is running smoothly, right? How do I know? Because I role play with everybody every day. And at first, with the team. And so at first, they'll read it and it sounds so scripted. I cut, do it again. Oh, cut, do it again. And by the end of our 5-minute conversation, it's running smooth. And that's just the difference. The difference is the role play, and the difference is that don't allow yourself to go down the wrong path too long. If it's wrong, start from beginning. And so think about if you do that 20 times a day, if you do that 30 times a day because you're practicing, I mean, it's just going to roll off, right? Your brain is just not going to change. So let's go ahead and, that's not what I wanted to do. I have to move this. There we go. All right. So let's see if I can minimize this. Okay. So how to close like a professional, right? So step 1, when you're closing, okay, so closing means, right, this is after they've seen the presentation, right? So this is the part of the close, is after the presentation, whether you gave the presentation, whether they watched the presentation from one of our old business overviews or Mr. Bean's collaborations or a launch call, right? This is where you start to close. right? After they have seen the information, after they have been shown everything. So you want to restate the benefits. You want to recap the values and benefits of whatever was shared, right? So that's why we ask the question always, always, what did you like best about what you saw? Because now we're going to be recapping the benefits that pertains to that person, right? It's not about what you like. It's not about what Dr. Arlene likes. It's not about even what their significant other likes. It's that person. You have to talk to the person that's in front of you. So what did you like the most about what you saw? Always, not what's your feedback or tell me about how do I know I made this mistake? I was like, so tell me about what you think. And when I said that, they were like, well, I thought the video quality was really bad and the guy talking behind the scene was horrible. And I was like, oh man, I just made that rabbit hole, didn't I? So I had to backtrack and say, no, 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 right? That's not what I meant, right? And so save yourself a lot of time, energy, and money by saying, what did you like best about what you saw, right? Don't go down the rabbit hole. And the funny thing is we teach because we've gone down the rabbit hole, trust me, right? So next step 2 now, ask if they're ready. Ask the customer if they're ready to make a decision. Yes, assume the sale, but you got to ask as well, right? Because you can assume the sale and walk them through, but you got to make sure that they are 100% ready before you make that close, because if they're not ready, there won't be a close. You're going to get, basically the boot, some type of way where they're like, yeah, we'll talk about it later. You're going to get a boot if you don't ask if they're ready. So always ask them if they're ready to make a decision, right? And then step 3, handle any last minute objections. Right there, when you're asking for if they're ready to make a decision, is where they're going to give you the objections. Well, this is why I'm not ready, right? So you want to address any concerns or objections, because if you don't address them, it's never going to close. It's just going to be, if you've seen a person that keeps on telling you, yeah, I'm still thinking about it. Yeah, I'm still thinking about it. That's because they have some objections or concerns and you haven't addressed them. And that's the reason why they're not on board, right? Because if it's not closing, you got to find out what's the missing piece. There's a missing piece. If you're not closing, there's a missing piece. And the faster you find that missing piece, the faster you will now have a very good closing ratio, right? So ask for the sale again after the objections, after you handle the objections. Because remember, you asked them if they're ready. They said no. They have objections. They have concerns. So now that you've addressed it, you have to what? Ask them again. Are you ready now? Now that I've addressed any concerns you have, are you ready to get started? Right? And then that's where people make the mistake as well. They address the concerns and then they're like off without asking that. And that's where business is not closed. Confirm the sale, right? Step 5. Confirm the details of the sale and ensure that the customer is satisfied, right? That's an extra step, right? That you can do for that person. Like, hey, hey, you loved everything about it, right? Are you are you sure you're making a great decision for yourself? Let me know if you're not. What talk to me about it, right? And have them tell you, are they ready? What are their concerns? Yes, I'm sure. And I'm going to go through some of the questions that you can ask them, right? In a little bit later. But during this time that you're going for the close, you have to handle objections. So the 3-step rule to handling objections is, right? Number 1, acknowledge. We all know that. Recognize that the customer's concern, and then answer their objection. Provide a clear and concise response to the objection. So, whatever objection it is, time. right? Yes. Oh, I absolutely understand. Time is always a factor. We're always running. You're a realtor, like let's say you're talking to a realtor. Oh, I know realtors have zero time. I know you guys are always running around. You guys got booking appointments, you got open houses, you got this is why I'm coming with you with this because as you're doing what you're doing, as you're spending that time in your real estate business, why not refer out to the company so that they can provide you an extra 6 figures on top of what you're already doing with your profession? See, provide an answer to their concern, right? Solve that solution for them. And then that's the last step is asking again for the sell and incorporating the answer to the objection. So now that you understand the process, that you really don't have to, we are a full service business for you so that you can concentrate on your real estate needs and sales, right? Does that make sense for you to earn an extra 6 figures a year just by referring out to the company? Right? That's how I'm asking for the sell again. Right? Let the person say yes. Let the person make that their own decision, right? You just ask them questions to help them make their own decisions. Right? A lot of times we're in the telling business, and the telling business sounds great, right? Because we don't know that. I'm a green. So before I learned to ask questions, I was just telling people what was good for them. Oh, it's really good for you. This is the benefits, this is the breakdown, this is the, and they weren't having that. They're like, yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, 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 yeah. But they didn't sign up. They didn't close. I didn't close them. They're just like great information. When I hear great information, I'm like, I did something wrong. When they say, wow, this makes sense. This is a no-brainer. Ding, I did a good job. Right? So if you ever hear that's great information, rewind, right? Because that's not the outcome you want. So, closing phrases that you can use. Are you ready to make a decision? Very simple, but not used, right? How many people I'll say are afraid of asking a closing question? I was, right? I was just like, yeah, whenever you feel like it. When you make a decision, let me know. That was me back then, right? Before Grant Cardone, right? I didn't want to be pushy. I didn't want to be salesy. And so I I I dropped the ball because what I was thinking was being pushy, what I was thinking of being salesy and being demanding was actually just clarity and transparency. And I'm allowing that person to tell me what the answer is. When I pretend to be nice and let them go, they pretend to be nice back to me and let me go. So you reciprocated what you didn't want to happen. So when you say, are you ready to make a decision? They're like, okay, so she wants transparency. I'll let you know now. And there's no this back and forth, 100 calls later, no decision was made because you allowed transparency to happen. You allowed that person to say, okay, she wants to know the answer, so just let me give her the answer. And that when you start being transparent, then you'll notice people start being more transparent with you. Now everybody's like, to be honest, Angel, let me be transparent with you. And I'm like, yes, I love it. Come on, give it to me. Right? Because I don't want to beat around the bush. Right? Because I want to know if you're ready, great. If you're not, I'll see you in a couple of months, I'll check on you. Right? And I don't waste any more time. I don't waste any more time. So if you want to be nice and not pushy, that ends up making you follow up for 2 weeks and then finally realizing when they've had enough of you following up to where even though they didn't tell you, what the decision was, now they're like, I don't want to, you just called me like 2 weeks in a row. Um, I don't want to talk to you right now. Then they start MIA, ghosting you, right? But if you ask this question, are you ready to make a decision? And they say, no, okay, I know how to handle that. Well, what concerns do you have? If they say yes, great. Let's get started. Right? So now there's a clear direction for both of you. And so they're not going to get mad at you for following up because you have a clear direction to go. Is there anything else you need to make a decision? Because sometimes they need more information, right? That this is always a good one. Is there anything else? Because now they're going to tell you your goal is to find out the objections and concerns. Don't run away from it. Don't run away from it, because that is that is how you're going to close. If you don't go for the objections, if you don't go for the objections, you're not going to close at all. So go for that, because if they're not getting started today, there is a reason why, and you need to find out why. Because people who are ready today means that that it's a no-brainer. That they've seen clarity, they see everything. So meaning that if they don't start today, there's a missing piece, and you have to find that puzzle, right? So this is my favorite close. I've used this since day one that I found out this, and it's been the only close that has ever really closed for me. So I use it all the time, and I use it through different companies, and it always produced the same thing for me. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you would love to be a customer, or 10, you're ready to open your brokerage today, what number are you? And whatever it is they tell you, if they tell you a 1, I love a 1. Because who doesn't love a customer, right? You see how I worded it? You're either going to be a customer or you're going to be a partner. Which one is it? I didn't give them a choice of saying no to everything. I said, you want to be a customer or you want to be a business partner, right? So I didn't really give them a choice of anything else besides that. So number 1, you're going to love a customer. Number 2, you still love them. Number 3, whatever it is, you love what it is. But how do we get you to a 10? And they will tell you how to get them to a 10. It's called listening to your person, right? Maybe they said, well, I don't know. I really love everything, but I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. And okay, but you don't know you can do this. What do you mean you can't do this? Well, I don't know if I can go out and get customers for this. I have to go and go find the leads and go find the people. Oh, Mr. Realtor, are you already in homes? Do you already have a database of clients in the past? And a database of clients that referred you in the past as well? Yes. Well, you already have the leads right there. You're already having leads every single day that you walk into a home, or you sit down with a buyer, because not only can you service them the home, but you can service everything after they move in, so that you're constantly with your buyer through everything. And now your buyer will be like, hey, I need this. Do you have this? Do you know who did this? You're a service to your client now, because I'm sure you referred a plumber to your client. I'm sure you referred a roofer to your client. Well, why not refer the services that you offer by adding a solar division, and you getting paid on the back end for that, right? So is there any other concerns you have? Let's go ahead and knock that out. Right? And so when you ask them how you can help them become a 10, they will now, what? The magic words, objections. So if you don't love objections, you got to learn to love objections now, because objections will equal a close. So I love objections, right? Because I've had 10s, I've ever people, I'm a 10. Okay. Well, when do you want to get started? I don't know. Well, maybe Friday in 2 weeks. Oh, can we do April the 3rd? You're not really a 10, my friend, because we said today, right? So I love the ones and the twos, because you know why? The ones and the twos are being very honest with you. And once you're able to solve that solution for them, they're ready to get started. I'm not excited about 10s unless unless they're a gauge, right? And they're like right now. I I asked him, are you ready to make a decision? Are you ready to get started? He's like, yes. Like, when do you want to get started? He's like, right now. All right, let's go. I'm in the middle of a meeting, but you know what? 5 seconds later, I'll onboard you later. But if you're ready right now, then we're gonna go right now. And then we set up an onboarding time later, right? So that's how you're going to attract those type of peoples, because you already know how to handle those objections and closing phrases. So never go into selling mode, right? So that's another, this is the don't do list in the closing, right? Because there's certain things you don't do in the closing. And that's one is don't ask for permission. Tell the customer what you're going to do, right? You don't ask for permission. You don't ask the customer for permission. So let's say that he said, I need more information. Great. What I'm going to do for you is I'm going to add you to our ATM, which is our high ticket sales group. And there you can look at some of the videos, kind of shop around before you make a decision. So let's go ahead. Can you go ahead and send me a friend's request so I can put you in that group right now? Okay, great. All right, you're in the group. I'll check back on you. Go ahead, have fun, shop around. Right? Don't use words like if or maybe. Right? Those words are uncertainty and doubt. You don't want to use those in the close. It's always will or do. No maybes. And definitely don't say I think or I believe. Right? It's all about the confidence. So those type of words, if, maybe, I think, I believe, those should go with try. They should be they should disappear. Right? Because it then should show your confidence in what you're doing and what you're believing. And people can feel that. So if they feel that you are not confident about your product, you're not confident about what you're sharing, they're not gonna go with it. Right? So those type of words triggers people. And you may not feel it, but they will on the other side. Right? And don't apologize. Right? In the close. Right? And then there's another one that don't use the phrase, is this okay? Or is this all right? And these are just trigger words for some people, Is this okay? Is this all right? No, right? We're talking about authority. Be confident, right? Be confident. Lead people into a decision, right? And don't show hesitation, right? We know these are like the little etiquette rules during the close. And definitely don't give your customer an out. So avoid giving the customer an easy way out or escape the sale. Sure, if you're too busy, we'll go ahead and book it out for a month later. I don't even book anything like outside of a week because I forget and they'll forget. Like if you're not getting it on my week's calendar, then I'll give you a call next Monday and see if I have any time available for you. Let's see how our schedules call, but I don't book it outside of a week. So let's book it this week. If it's outside of the week, we'll connect then and see how our schedules are. Right? Posture. You're not chasing them. You know? Because you have a lot of people to help. What we have our hands on, ladies and gentlemen, is going to help a lot of people. Not only are they helping in the ways of, saving them electricity, energy, great water, but in their diversifying their income right? And this company, and I'm gonna say this company because I've been in a couple, allows you to have that stable residual income. And it's not going backwards. Ask me how. I have a I have a business partner who hasn't done anything in 4 months because she has had what? Family issues, distractions, things that come up, right? Life happens. 4 months. Guess what? Residual still hitting. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Get these closes because the better you get at closing, the more you're going to be able to get that residual income. Right? And the closing is number 1, learning how to ask for the close, and number 2, handling the objections. So that's why every single role play that we do, I've been wanting to role play more objections so that you guys could get that into your, into your verbiage. So that if anybody throws anything at you, you already have it in your arsenal. Right? Oh, I've heard that before. No time. Definitely. Right? Oh, I've heard that before. Not enough money. Now, what do you mean by, does it, like, what do you mean by you don't have the money? Because there's 2 things about money, right? It's never really the money. It's 2 things. Do you not have the money, or do you not see the value to put the money? And majority of the time, it's the value. Because the value you can help. Right? Because the value, if they don't see the value, it's because you're not explaining it right. Remember, if you go to Grant Cardone, we are the reason for the objection. You allow them. It's either buy or sell. So you bought what they told you. They told you that they didn't have enough money. I don't buy it. I'm like, well, tell me, you really don't have the money, or you don't see the value? Well, you have it, but you have other things that it goes to because you don't see the value. Great. Because a business that's going to make 6 figures part-time, 7 figures full-time for $200, Mr. Roofer, how much did you spend to start your business? Oh, 10,000. Wow. Oh, Mr. Broker. You have fees every month. Is it $200? Oh no, more than that? See, we remember educating them on solar, educating them on on uh on water, educating them. We have to educate them on financials because people need it. People don't see it. $200, they've already paid for that, but they just don't correlate it. And that's where we come in to help them say, hey, you're already doing it. You're already doing it. You're already paying over $200 for a brokerage. You're already putting $10,000 for a roofing company. You've already opened the LLC, cost you more than this. Right? I know there's, I think maybe Wyoming is the only LLC that costs $200, but it's the same amount to open an LLC. And that doesn't even guarantee you money. How many people have LLCs that's just sitting there? See, educating them. And that's really it, for the training. But these are the things that you want to do. You want to be direct and assertive, right? You want to use positive and confident language and focusing on the benefits and the value. Always take it back to what they like the most. Remember, they like something. Always expand on that. Always expand the benefits and the value for them. It always has to be in their language. What they view as benefits, what they view as value. And then assuming the sell, and then using stuff like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for you. We're going to, right? That's the type of language you want to say. Don't ask them like, would it, can we do this? Can we book an appointment on Thursday? No. Okay, I'm going to book an appointment for us so that we can go ahead and follow up. What works best for you? See the difference in those type of things when you're asking for permission and then you're leading them down a path? And that's it for the training. So I wanted to finish early so that we can have some more questions and anything that you guys want to ask me about this training or about closings or objections in general. So let me go ahead and unshare. And let's see if we have any questions. Oh, we got some hands. Miss Carla. Yes, ma'am.
Great morning. So, initially when asking the participant, what they like best, sometimes my experience has been they want to tell you what they didn't like. First thing they want to talk about is what they don't like. So, you know, the best, I'm curious about the best way to address it in terms of that's great that you share that. However, or thank you for sharing that. I'm asking you, what did you like best, to get them to answer that question? Because sometimes people go, my experience has been that people go into what they don't like, even though that's not the question that you asked.
Sure. But I would
So
rephrase.
what is the most diplomatic way to respond to and get them back on track? Thank you for
Sure,
allowing me to share.
absolutely. So what I do is, it's just that little transition turn back. Of course, you always agree with whatever it is that they're saying, right? So yeah,
Mhm.
okay. Oh, okay. I see that, I I completely understand, right? Our acknowledgement drills, right? I completely get it. I completely understand. Now let me ask you a question. What did you like the most though?
Mhm.
Because now they've already shared what they don't like,
Mhm.
but what did you like? I don't let them go with sharing whatever they want to share. They can,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna pretend
Mhm.
like I didn't even hear it,
Right.
right? Because you're leading. So if you're leading, and if people get off track, what do you got to do? Like kids, right? They some of them are not in line. You just kind of got to
Mhm.
push them a little bit back in the line, right? Like there you go, get back in line, little one. And you got to treat. I hate to say it, but you got to treat grown-ups like they're little children sometimes. Like
Right.
okay, let's
That's
let's
true.
just move it back where we're supposed to be, right? And it's just that little pushback and just saying it like, yeah, no, great. Thanks for sharing what you don't like. But let me ask you, what did you like? Right? And then expound on that. They can share whatever they want to share. Just pull it back around. All right, Mr. Dale Boudreaux.
Yeah, Angel. Hey, first of all, thank you so much for this training. I mean, it's right on point to I think where like the whole group is. I mean, um, in closing, again, so you you told some stories that I resonated with because I went through the same thing, right? One of the biggest things was assume the sale. So in our one of our companies we were in, they had different packages, right? And I think the highest package was 1,400 and the lowest package was like 250. Well, when I was presenting, I would always go, well, yeah, you can get in for 250, you know what I mean? So it was like, Mr. Bean caught me on that, and he really, taught me how to close, not because it's $1,400, but it's the value you are placing on that as you are talking to people, right? And the listening part was another thing for me because I am not a good listener. I have to work on that every single day because I could bulldoze people, man. I just, and it's just part of
I'm
the
gonna jump in
environment I
and
grew up
correct you on
in.
that, Mr. Dale Boudreaux.
What's that, Miss Arlene?
I'm gonna jump in and correct you on that. There is no I am not.
Well,
There is
thank
I
you.
am a great communicator. I am this, I am that. But there is no I am not for you.
Mhm.
Well, at that time I was. But anyway, I worked my way out of all of that. And uh, I have to work on every day being a listener.
Mhm.
And I try very hard, even, and I take all of this what we do and put it in everyday life. Not just at work, but just everyday life. And just try to be better every day, man, on just something. But these things you're talking about, when corrected or you start a new habit with that, it makes a huge difference of how people respond to you and how people respond to the information you are giving them. So it's really awesome. I appreciate this training because it's just good, healthy reminders. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is share this with my whole. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you, Dr. Arlene. I appreciate you too.
Well, thank you, Dell, for sharing. I love that. And I have seen you working on that every single day. And I really love that. You inspire me because sometimes I run into a lot of reds out there. But, a red who is willing to, number one, be humble and know that they do, catch people on fire. It's huge and big, right? It's really big. I appreciate you so.
Did we just lose Miss Angel?
Yeah, we did.
I think we
I
did.
think we did. We did.
I'm
Yeah.
wondering if the covered wagon started moving.
I had started moving, or she fired this room so much she just had to disappear.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That was a great training.
That's right. Great
That
training.
was
Let's
a
close this
fantastic
out.
training.
Let's make this week count. Let's
Yeah.
let's make Mr. and Mrs. Bean proud. Let's build. And Brenda Nava, I believe in you. Let's go, girl.
Absolutely.
I believe in all of you. We got this. We
We
can't be
got
Yeah,
in
we
this.
do.
a better place and build. Come on. It's on fire.
It's on fire. So
Absolutely.
have a great week, everyone.
Thank
See
you.
y'all at the meeting. We have a Super Saturday today. Did you guys see that?
Yes.
Hope
Yes.
to see y'all there.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Omi, can you close us out, please?
I guess everybody hopped off then. Jared, you're still holding on?